I was called into a meeting the other day where the site leader was bringing up all the operation managers and some analytics people into the room and bringing up missed shipments. The operation leads started blaming the systems. The site lead is trying to understand what the root causes of the issue are. It's all very unclear. I wanted to stop the room right there because I knew the system wasn't broken. The way the system was being used was broken. So as the meeting unfolded, I witnessed the site leader, a very experienced leader, go through a constraint check of sorts, and this is the one I'm going to show you now. This is what we used to fix it. So no new software needed, no big fixes were needed, nothing expensive, no implementations were needed. It was simple, and it was diagnosing the constraint of the operation, understanding what the problems were, where was it originating from, and how can it be tackled. So initially, when speaking with the operations leaders, they were mentioning that the system was not tracking the shipments correctly. They were not tracking the service level agreements properly. And this was leading to a lot of shipments being marked as missed, being marked as late. But you see, very quickly, I knew that the system wasn't the issue. Mainly that I built the system, so I knew exactly how it worked. What happened was within that warehouse, the items were being set early for release, which on the system sets a timestamp of when it gets set for release. And from there is when the service level agreement begins. To keep it simple, orders were getting auto-released before their real release date. And because of this, service level agreements were being measured incorrectly. The KPIs were displaying a very inaccurate display of what's actually going on in the operations. What this led to is that overnight, it looked like the KPIs blew up. That wasn't the case. What ended up happening was the behavior got exposed and the necessity for training got exposed. You see, every operation has potential, but every operation also has a constraint. Your operation will only grow to that of the ceiling which your constraint sets for your operation. In this case, we kept on adding more potential. We kept on adding KPI dashboards, more metrics, more analytics, more visibility of information. But the constraint was the accuracy, the validity of that information. The KPI dashboards, the analytics, the system, it will only be as accurate as the data in which is instilled within it. During your operations, the operators, the team leads, the operational leads, if they're not properly trained in actually using the system in the way in which it's intended, in which the KPI dashboards understand and can pick up the right information, then you're going to run into problems of data accuracy. And you're going to run into problems of misalignment between the readings of KPI dashboards, statistics, things that managers, operational leads look to have, and the reality of what's actually going down in your operations. So with great efficacy, I see the site leader ask a series of 3 to 4 questions. And after these 4 questions, he very quickly diagnosed the problem. First, he asked, what's marked ready to ship that isn't actually ready to ship? The second question he asked was, who actually released the orders early? Who is responsible? Who deals with that? And how can we train these people? And 3, who's actually certified? Who actually knows how to properly enact all of these activities, whether it's releasing the orders or everything leading up to that? Just from watching the site leader ask the operational leads these 3 questions, I saw how very quickly the patterns in their answering directly pointed fingers to that one answer, which was, it's not the platform, it wasn't the system, it was the improper usage, it was the improper training of how to actually use the system to enable and align with that of KPI reading and analytics. Once the problem was diagnosed, it was organizing a few meetings and a few training sessions in which material planners and operational leads are all properly trained and educated on how to actually use the data management system in a way that enables for KPI dashboarding. That way operations are visible, operations can be tracked, and they can be measured. So in short, within 15 minutes, I saw the site leader, very experienced, go from not understanding the problem and having people tell him it's the system, it's the digital infrastructure, to him clarifying that what we truly needed was just a complete revamp of the SOPs, which is standard operating procedures, and allowing for proper training with these new SOPs. And that way everybody who uses the systems is using them properly in alignment with KPI dashboarding and analytics. And he made sure to place emphasis on ensuring that all team leaders and material planners are properly trained and understand the accountability that they would have on their behalf for ensuring that the operators who work under them are actually aligning with metrics and KPI standards. Again, the big emphasis is the system will only be as accurate as the data that is input into the system. This site leader had an incredible perspective on this, in which I built a framework that I'll explain to you now. You see, for him, the whole logic of ensuring that the whole team understands and properly logs data into the data management system wasn't just to ensure that the metrics of the operations are as accurate as possible. It's much bigger than that. You see, training builds confidence. Confident people speak up. Speaking up exposes gaps. and exposed gaps get patched. And that just goes and goes and goes because new patches have to get retrained. And that just spins the flywheel again and again and again until you have a very, very effective system of internally being able to diagnose problems and fix them as soon as they arise. This truly allows you to scale. This truly allows you to solve the problems which will occur within your company. And this is a sort of culture that allows you to thrive. So this is called the training confidence flywheel. And with this and the constraint check that I showed you earlier on in this video is exactly how we diagnosed the problem and we fixed it, and we were able to find a long-term solution for improper usage of ERP systems within this firm, ensuring that the constraint within the operation was mitigated in a long-term solution sort of way, achieving accuracy in our KPIs and instilling a culture that is well-trained, speaks up, and patches issues as soon as they arrive. And so the reason I'm making this video is so you can properly diagnose the issues that may occur and will occur within your operations, instill long-term solutions to mitigate against these problems, and ultimately scale your operations as big as possible to achieve all the dreams that you're looking for.